Alrighty, hello. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Liverpool have beaten Fulham and Brighton have beaten Man United. Couple of midweek games. And if you thought they were as awesome as I did, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell on. Did you guys catch the Liverpool game or see the highlights at least? I know we were probably watching the City game at the time.
I saw the goal because of a stupid tackle in the box.
I don't know. That's the main talking point. Go back and look at that challenge. He is pulling out. His left knee is in backwards motion. This was a close one. It's one of those that I think if the VAR or if the ref on field said it wasn't a penalty, the VAR would not have overturned it. Just like they didn't overturn it when he said it was a penalty. Because this one was, first glance, I was like, yeah, that's no argument. But when they slowed it down in slow-mo, like the VAR has, they have the slow-mo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This one feels a little unlucky. Little unlucky. And Fulham, man, they're giving teams a go. They really gave it a run and fought for this one. So, but Mo Salah dispatches the penalty, like you would expect, and
right down the middle. That's what the water bottle said.
Yeah, yeah. I did see that picture where he's got the notes on this outside of the water bottle. This makes sense. But yeah, Liverpool.
I mean, they're making moves up the table, and you look at it, it's like is rock and roll football back, even though they're not doing rock and roll anymore. But it's interesting to see them move up the table because they've been a shambles, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see they're in fifth now, and with United dropping points, I mean, it makes it. I mean, again, I'm not rooting for anyone to lose, but I do root for interesting things.
He likes a good story.
I mean, in this instance, though, you don't really have beef with Liverpool, but the team right above them.
Well, technically, if we're gonna be honest, for like this
I would rather see Pool than United.
Their rivalry is more direct with Liverpool than United. United is like a long-standing one. I mean, United is a long-standing one. Liverpool is like they've been challengers to them. To see Liverpool kind of move the way they've been moving, because their management has been stable and better. Their ownership has been decent. All the things that are not happening at Chelsea. Not a knock on Chelsea, but what they're looking for.
You're not wrong. No.
So I look and I can take my bias aside and say don't particularly care for Liverpool, but to see them to move up, I mean obviously the Premier League loves to see Man United and Liverpool fight the way that they will be in the next few weeks. So I think Liverpool ball will be something interesting. United ball will be something interesting. It'll be great to be one of the reasons that United only gets one trophy this year. So, I appreciate, what Brighton did, but I'm going to let you segue to that before I start talking about what I saw.
Yeah. Any more thoughts on Liverpool Fulham before we move on to that one?
I just caught the highlights and I watched the United Brighton game and I was watching the City game during this one.
The only thing really to point out is the same thing we said last time. No Tim Ream is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Did it say how long he was out?
He's done for the season. He's got a broken arm.
But silver lining, Mitrovic will be back in the next game. His ban is over. Mitro returns.
So he'll play against Leicester?
I think he'll be in the game against Leicester.
Oh, poor Foxes. They're done.
Oh.
Yeah. They were done.
Leeds might have a shot because the Foxes.
No, man. No. Leeds have to beat City. Leeds have to not lose.
To not lose to City.
City. And that's not happening. No. Anyway. Yeah, so like you say, Lewis, segues are weird. And I mean, Brighton Man U was a great game. It was a fun game.
It was a Premier League game.
With only one goal, too.
And and I thought we were
Premier League game.
Another one of those adverts for a league, after a 0-0, but deserved in the end. It was deserby in the end, if you ask me.
But
Yeah. So what'd you see, Lewis? What were you?
What was interesting, because I went back and because I caught the game at the end, and then I went back and I had it rewind. And I mean, do we know what United is gonna show up when they play? Because I have no idea what team is going to show up. But what I do know is Brighton was coming at them. They're like they're for real, and they said we're gonna summon all the Argentine World Cup powers that we have, and we're gonna put it and just do what we need to do. And it was beautiful because you could see the frustration on United players' faces. Because they were kind of like, and I think it's a weird thing, which I think United fans are dealing with to a degree, is people used to be afraid of seeing the shirt. And now teams are like, yeah, that's nice. We're going to come punch you right in the face. And they came at him. And De Gea, for all the mistakes he's made, he was for sure, if they hadn't lost, right? You could have been like De Gea, man of the match performance.
Yeah.
He was on it. And I mean, but then they found De Gea's kryptonite,
His weak spot,
which is penalties, and then it was over at that point. His bottle doesn't work. Whatever's in his bottle does not work.
Yeah.
It's like what's that movie with the Bugs
Space
Bunny?
Jam.
Yeah.
Space Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no special drink or sauce in there
There's no
that
special
helps
sauce.
De Gea figure out where penalties go. Because I mean,
It's almost as bad as Lloris penalties.
Well, I heard a stat because I didn't know what the number was. I didn't realize it was that bad. Since De Gea has entered the Premier League, which has been some time now, he's only
he's a like
four
crazy
penalties.
number of games.
Right. I mean, he's only saved 4 penalties. 4 total.
That's insane.
Not great.
He only saved 4 penalties and
Not great. I will say that I thought that the Old Trafford refs somehow traveled to the Amex for this one. Because, I mean, there was 20
They love them some United and some Liverpool. I'm telling you.
Sure. There were 20 minutes there in the second half where the ref lost complete control. Absolutely and utterly lost control of the game. Casemiro should have seen red for sure. Neither challenge really, for me, could be argued with. The first one you can't argue with. The second one was worse than the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know what the refs doing there. Another again. Yeah,
I mean, they can't. The narrative can't be that Casemiro didn't play, 3/4 of the season because he was banned.
Well, he wasn't. He's been so inconsistent, but in the last 3-4 games, he's been consistently bad.
Consistently bad.
Ever
since he came back from his last ban,
he gave the ball away a lot today. He really did, and then his recourse was to tackle, was to leave his feet and slide tackle people, and he should have gotten sent off. But
I agree.
I mean,
100%, I agree.
Was it Mortal Kombat 2 out there? Because Anthony, that was violence. Anthony's challenge was straight violence. There's no other way to look at that. He's come in and you can see the malice behind the kick. He's nowhere near the ball. And
it's frustration, right? I've done that on the field. It's frustrating. I know we shouldn't be losing, or this team's ruling the game more than I want, or this guy's beating me more than I like.
That instance was 100% because the ref let that moment go too long. There was a 3-4 challenges back to back to back to back, and if he would have stopped the game, Anthony would never have gone and done
the
that.
Opportunity, yeah.
But that being said, how is that not violent conduct? Clear and obvious violent conduct. And Andy Madley was on the VAR, and he's blind as he could possibly be because
it's United. They're all blind unless it's a goal issue.
If Rob Holding does that to somebody, you're seeing red immediately. Straight red immediately. Get out of my stadium.
Yep.
Like that was
3 weeks.
Insane.
Yeah.
That was insane. But I didn't think either team were really awesome in front of goal today.
No. Tons of chances. I thought De Gea had a game besides the penalty. Honestly, like I did think
Oh.
he had a game. I thought he saved some of those very well taken shots, the ones that Brighton put on frame. But like you said, just in front of goal, both teams, like United were typical United for me. You know they're going to take 14, 15 shots. They're all going to be C19.
Row 19.
Funny
Absolutely.
C does not matter.
Now, we gave Rashford his props when he was on fire, but we got to talk about the fact that he has completely disappeared.
Oh yeah, World Cup
Mhm.
Rashford or post CR7 Rashford
Disappeared.
or Rashford is
Was
Yeah.
it? Did he have a little bit of an injury and then he came back and he's just
Yeah.
been a ghost?
oh
But see, the thing is, they're setting up to defend, to soak pressure and counter. That's the strategy. And I mean, like we've said, Rashford has to be absolutely gassed.
Oh, yeah.
Just chasing ball after ball into the corner. Just he has to be absolutely gassed week in and week out, just like so many other players in the league, because that's what they've been asking him to do. United gave the ball away so many times today. And if they bring that, say, to the FA Cup final, it'll be embarrassing.
burned.
It'll be bad because
Burned.
Brighton pulled up for a lot of long distance shots that were, as you say, row C19.
C19.
Looking for the Wolves fan up in C19 or whatever.
The Spurs fan up there just trying to beam him.
City aren't doing that. They're gonna dump 5 on you.
Yeah.
So United better figure something out because, like we say, Liverpool are right behind them, and the FA love their battles. So that one might go down to the wire as well.
Well, it's just funny to see United lose their head. I mean, they really struggle with teams who come at them that should not be, on their level. But United haven't been like good like that in years. I mean, they've been living off a reputation. Your reputation is not enough to win games. I mean, it's sort of what Bowley, I think, it has the mentality of what's supposed to happen at Chelsea. Hey, this is Chelsea. We're just supposed to win games. No, you've robbed the team of their culture. So you got to do something else. You got to bring people in that help either reestablish the existing culture or the one that was successful, or you bring in new culture that's winning. For example, with City, when they brought in basically the Barcelona squad, they brought their Barcelona front office in and went from there. I like what Brighton is doing. I bet Chelsea would trade all of the people that are there and just transplant the Brighton people right into Chelsea and send Bowley back in exchange, and they would be fine being the Brighton London Lions. Just go from there.
Cowboys. Yeah. What'd you think, Patrick?
I think I do think that with all the injuries that United have had lately, especially in the back, they're just kind of limping to the finish line. It is interesting that Rashford has fallen off. I agree that's probably because of what's the word I'm looking for? All the fatigue. I mean, if you think about it, he played a good bit in the World Cup, then he came back and he was running around people all day long. That's why you need like a Martial or an Anthony to, show up, do something. That said, I actually have United winning this one 2-1 against West Ham because I really do think West Ham's probably just really playing for European Cup because they believe that they're out of the relegation zone already. So I don't know why.
After the performance, I don't know, man. After the performance today, I don't know. I don't know about that one. That's going to be tough. I think that's going to be tough for them. But yeah, just United have not brought it. And like I said last time out, when Casemiro doesn't play, because you always get a half performance from Bruno. And what I mean by that is Bruno is going to give you 4 to 5 good passes each game. And sometimes, maybe even a lot of the times, one of those 4 to 5 good passes is going to give Marcus Rashford in on goal. And before, Rashford was just bagging him. And since he's stopped that, those 4 to 5 passes that Bruno has have just not done anything for anyone. So if Bruno's not showing up and Casemiro's not showing up, and you're not even putting Eriksen in the game, and so McFred comes in and has a shocker. So I don't know.
But here's the thing: Brighton's just a good team. I think
and
that
United aren't.
Huh?
United aren't.
I'm not saying that, but they're equal to them. I mean, they don't want to hear that, but they are. They're equal to them.
That's fair.
So I mean, that's why I'm like, I mean, West Ham has looked better. They did get blitzed by City once City stopped playing around. But I just United will have the attitude that we're better than them, and they'll play to at least prove that. But Brighton's better than United, and I think we discussed that on the previous pod. Like I told you, I expected Brighton to win. Wouldn't be surprised if United, snuck up on them and won just because they had that FA Cup win over them. But in the end, Brighton's better than United.
I picked Brighton to win as well, so I agree.
Well, there you have it. Brighton, better than Manchester United, the greatest team that's ever been.
I also picked United to win the next one.
Well, if you agree that Brighton are the best team in the world now because they've beaten the best team in the world, smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get the notification bell on. All right.